Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Warframe video. I felt like today, since it is the end of 2023 and on to another year of Warframe, we would take a look at the year in review the Digital Extremes posted the other day, showing off everybody's favorite Warframes, what was used, what wasn't used, and basically everything like that. And along with that, I figured that we would measure that against what I have used the most and what I have been doing, because I've only been playing this game for a year. And even though it will be kind of difficult to do this next year, I felt it would be interesting to see what I have used compared to what is the most popular. So let's go ahead and get into that. I do like that they include this. I wish other companies would kind of just put this in here. It's kind of a little silly thing. This day is meant to pique the interest of the community members and does not serve as a tier list, because it is not a tier list, or any other statement on item viability. In other words, don't sweat if your favorite Warframe isn't number one. Which I was very surprised, because a lot of the ones that some of the ones that I use are kind of lower, but we'll get to that. Anyway, we're gonna start with Warframes and then go down the list here. So in terms of Warframes, who is the most played? And this was honestly kind of surprising to me. Revenant Prime. Now it's not like quote unquote most by most played, it's really just who was played the most, because like this is obviously 100% of the people playing the video game, and there's a lot of different Warframes. I think there's 55 right now, 55, 56. I'll go ahead and add that in post, not including the new guy Dante that's coming out, but like there's a lot of Warframes in the game, and having to split 100% of players between all of them, I guess including Stalker, which doesn't really count because he's in the game but not in the game. There's a lot of stuff here. So when it says Revenant is the most popular, that's by a very tiny amount. So this was kind of surprising to me. I didn't expect Revenant to be number one here, but you know, he does have a pretty good kit. I personally haven't played him that much yet, because it's not really my play style yet. Maybe I'll go back there one day, but you know, that's kind of neat. Seeing Wukong up there right next to him is not that surprising. A lot of people like very easy Warframes, and Wukong is, from what I've heard, one of the easiest Warframes in the game, which is part of the reason why I don't play him, because, you know, I actually like playing things that are a little bit more challenging, I guess. So I will probably never really touch Wukong unless like there's a very viable thing to use him for. But for the most part, I've just seen people play him because he's easy. Seeing Volt high on the list is not a surprise, and I'll be honest, Excalibur's a little bit more surprising, but seeing Volt high on the list, you know, a lot of people have told me that Volt is the best Warframe in the game, and well, at least 4.26% of the people agree. So having him at number 3 is kind of crazy, but also kind of cool. I'm gonna go down the list here of some of these. Seeing Core up there, not surprising, great farming frame. Mesa's a good general content frame and really good for defense. Volt. Wisp, I'm kind of surprised isn't a little bit higher. Now, she might be a little bit higher in the following year, because she did get her Prime version out, and a lot of people, myself included, got a lot of play and love out of her. But seeing her this low kind of surprised me. I thought she would have been higher. Honestly, I felt like Wisp would probably be top 5, but she's not top 5. She's like top 10, which is kind of crazy. But that's kind of cool. Or is this only including the Prime version? Oh, never mind. This is including all of the Prime variants as well. Oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. So, well, obviously Wisp is going to get more play than, you know, Wisp Prime. Where is Wisp Prime? Right there. I feel like that number is going to climb significantly. We might see Wisp Prime as more than just a top 10 in the coming year, but we'll see. But that's kind of interesting. I didn't actually think, I'll be honest, this is why I'm glad that I'm reviewing this in real time. I didn't think it would include the base on non-versions, but that's cool. Obviously, Goss is a pretty popular one, so that's cool. Titania makes sense. Titania's pretty good is what she does as well. Same with Saren. Saren is pretty damn good. Octavia, seeing her as high as she is not surprising. One of the reasons why I don't play her anymore, even though she and I do share a name, is she is too easy, and unless I want to do crazy survival missions, I personally don't play her anymore. She also makes my fingers have issues. Okay, let's look through some here that stand out to me. Seeing Haro on this list, this as low as he is, I mean, okay, I don't see people play Haro that much. I do know a very nice VTuber that plays them, and you know, he's pretty cool. And Haro is pretty cool as well. But I'm surprised he's that low, because Haro is kind of useful in a lot of different ways. But I guess that kind of makes sense. Let's see here. Rhino is as high as he is not surprising, because he's pretty useful on a lot of different things. Mirage is also pretty useful, although everybody likes her 3. Oh wow, seeing Kalervo up as high as he is, 1%. That's pretty crazy considering he was released in 2023. I didn't actually think he would be that high. He's actually higher than Citrine. And I'll be honest with you, out of all of the support Warframes, obviously I feel like Wisp is number 1. Citrine would probably be number 2 because of her passive healing. So I'm surprised this Citrine is that low. But did she come out? I feel like Citrine came out before 2023. No. I think she was in the very beginning of the year. So I'm surprised that she's that low. But maybe it'll go up or down. I have no idea. Let's see here. Vauban. Oh, where's Vauban Prime? Is Vauban Prime in here anywhere? Come on. He is like one of the best trap frames in the game. And I'm not saying trap in the anime way. There he is. He's 0.81%. He's 0.81% right below Citrine. That's really interesting. I didn't think he would be that low. Wow. That's crazy. Let's see. Atlas. A lot of these that are in the lower list, I kind of understand it. Nyx, I'm surprised she isn't lower than this, because I see very few people play Nyx, if at all, because, you know, to be honest, well, that's Nyx Prime. Regular Nyx is way lower, which, you know, makes sense, but like, Nyx is cool. I think she's a neat Warframe, but like, I think she needs some love. I don't know. They're redoing Inaros. Inaros is getting a buff up, so maybe they can work on Nyx and X. I don't know, but like, holy cow, nobody plays Nyx. Nova, Banshee, regular Haro. A lot of that makes sense. Trinity, Atlas, and right down at the bottom, I'm surprised they included this, because a very small bit of people can actually play this guy, and I think the only reason why he gets play is people play him just to show off. You know who you are. Excalibur Prime. Excalibur Prime at 0.03%. Makes sense, because very few people own him, if at all. I'd say only a couple handfuls of accounts still exist that have him. But that's cool. And of course, Stalker at 0%, because you can't really play Stalker outside of everything. That's kind of interesting, though. That's really interesting. Alright, now this other thing here, heat map, I'll be honest with you, I really don't know how to read this. I'm not an expert with heat maps and stuff, but this is interesting. So we're just gonna go on to primary weapons next and go on and see what we got here. Now, Nadaruk, I am not surprised with. They kind of touched on this on the dev stream. Nadaruk is pretty nice because of the infinite ammo, plus the extra ability that you get from the charge. So I can understand Nadaruk being a top one here, but I'll be honest, I haven't seen very many people use Nadaruk. Maybe I'm just like not playing the game enough, which sounds funny because I play a lot, but I'm very surprised that it is this high on the list. It must just be because of the infinite ammo. Which makes sense, I'm going to be honest with you. Igneous Wraith is the second one, and Felarx, both of these kind of make sense. Igneous Wraith is really amazing for spreading viral and just being a really good, like, mobbing weapon. So I kind of get seeing Igneous Wraith this high. I need to finish building mine because it's not. But yeah, I kind of understand. Felarx, really good. I just recently finished building mine, gave it a really stupidly awesome ribbon. I understand why this one is that high. It's awesome. Same with the Archiplasmor. I got a really good roll on my first one, and I've not had to do much work on it afterwards, but this gun is really good. Ooh, excuse me. Let's see, I'm gonna go down the list here. Exceltra makes sense, it's really good. Fenmore makes sense. Honestly, I would have thought it would be a little bit higher. That makes sense. Rubico, I love Rubico. I only use it during Eidolons, but that makes sense. Let's see here. Bubonico. I kind of understand where it is. I feel like less people use it, but it is pretty powerful. So I don't know. It's interesting to see the Mark I weapons used as much as they are. Which, that makes me wonder if people just don't ever get much past the regular Mark Is. Because I'm going to be honest with you, the Mark I weapons, even though they are a lesser version, they do have stat differences. And I could see people using them because of their minor stat differences. Like, I think that, I want to say that one of them, the crit build is different on, like, either the Bratton or one of the other Mark Is. But that kind of, That kind of makes sense. Gatva, that's really surprising that Gatva almost has 1%. Again, out of all of the weapons that are on, there's way more weapons than there are on Warframes on this list. So it's really crazy to see Gatva almost has 1%. It's a really good tool. Like, as a free giveaway, it's a really, really good tool. And I'm really, really happy to see it high on there. It was my favorite for a while. So that's kind of cool. Let's see. Any more that stand out to me? All these regular things, you know, especially the primes, I see why they're that low on the list. Like, they're good, they're just like, they're just not that good, I guess you could say. Let's see. Is there anything else, like, worth pointing out? If you see anything worth pointing out, tell me in the comments which one you see on this list, and whether or not you play something that is a high or low on the list. Let's see. Is there anything else? I don't really see anything else that's, like, really worth pointing out. Let's see. Let's go down to the bottom here. Supra Snipertron. I'm actually getting the Snipertron vandal right now. I don't know how good. I know it's another sniper, but I didn't know how many people play it. Simulor. Wait. Oh, I know that one. That's interesting. And the Carmen Penta. So these are all the bottom ones. A lot of these that I only know by name. And it's really crazy to see. Seeing the Strun Wraith that low, especially after it's gotten its Incarnate. I guess the Prime version is just a lot better. Actually, can I find Strun on here? Is Strun on here anywhere? Where is it? Where is it? Can I find it? Strun Prime, 1%. Yep, that makes a bunch of sense. After it got its Incarnate, a lot of people have been using it for what it does. I even have a good build of it, so that's nice. But yeah, a lot of these on the bottom, I kind of understand because I don't see people use them at all. So that kind of makes sense. Again, if you use any of these at the bottom, let me know. And let me know why you like playing them. And just because you play them doesn't mean that you're, like, a bad player. Because, like, here's the thing with Warframe that I really like. It doesn't matter how good or bad the weapon is. A lot of weapons can be used in a lot of different content. Even if you can't use it in the high end, like Netricels or the hunts, it doesn't matter. Because a lot of these things can just be used in general content regardless. So that's really interesting. All right, let's move on to secondary here. Kuva Nucor, that makes sense. The Nucor I've heard is really good. Latum being number 2, I also understand. Latum has been basically mine for a long time. I don't know where it stands on my list, but I have used Latum for the longest time. It is a very fantastic weapon. I only cycle out of the Latum if I'm using the Fenmore or any other primary Incarnate weapon because it's just so busted. And having something like that is just so good. So seeing that there makes a lot of sense. Epitaph. Now, I haven't built an Epitaph. I have one, but I didn't know it was that much loved. It's really interesting. Seeing the first two are both 11% and then dropping down way below down to 6% is interesting. So these are obviously two really loved weapons. I'm going to need to get a Nucor because I don't think I have one. But yeah, definitely understand why both of them are used. Those are both really good. Lex Prime, that makes sense, especially with its brand new Incarnate. Piranha, that one makes sense. Let's see. Let's scroll down to some that I don't understand. Nell, now here's the thing with Nell. I noticed it's somewhat high on the list. I understand why Nell is very powerful. It's very cool. I don't like it though. I don't like it whatsoever. I don't like how it feels. I don't like how it builds, but that's okay. Because other people do. But so if you like this, that's fine. I just don't. Seeing the twin Grakatas high on the list is actually giving me a lot of happiness because, let's be honest, Grakatas do deserve to be high on the list because that means that we all have that internal love for Clem and his twin Grakatas ourselves. Plus, I think they're just decent weapons regardless. Let's see. Let's continue scrolling here. I'm seeing a lot. There are a lot of prime weapons here that, like, I understand why nobody touches them because, like, they're just kind of, like, out there. Seeing the Bronco this low is kind of crazy. I used Bronco for a while. It's a decent weapon. Although I can understand why some people might not use it that much because of how weirdly slow it is. So I kind of get that. But if you can give it a good Riven mod, which I used to have, it was just pretty good. Pretty good. Let's see here. Coolistar, Xylock. Xylock Prime is brand new. I think that was Grendel Prime. So that I'm surprised that one has grown so much being a Grendel Prime one, because that was the last Prime of the year. And it's already a 0.21. That's higher than I feel like it could have been. Or it should have been, but that's crazy. I guess Xylock is just good because both Xylock and Xylock Prime are very similar there. That's interesting. People are talking about, are playing things that I don't really know that much about. That's cool. Seeing Leto Prime down here makes sense because I'm pretty sure Leto is one that you can only get, like the Prime version is the only one you can get if you were a founder. So seeing point 1, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense here. Let's scroll up, and now let's go on to melee weapons here. Now, melee weapons is gonna be, well, it's not as long, but like, melee weapons there's gonna be a lot because it's just a lot. I feel like there's gonna be a little bit more diversity with melee weapons. I do see here Zorus is number 1. Let me tell you why that makes sense. Not everybody can get Glaive Prime, which is number 2. But they both are basically the same. Both of them basically do the same thing. It's just that Glaive Prime, while not a lot of people have it, is better. So seeing Zora at number 1, I get it. It's cool because Zora's, and it's also a free weapon. It is a weapon that they give you by doing a quest, so that's cool. So if you don't have Zorus, you need to do Deadlock Protocol. Great quest, gives you a good Warframe that you can grind out. But Zorus is really good, and I think it's great. Glaive Prime just as much as well. I don't have mine built out exactly the way I want it, but once you get Glaive Prime up there, whew, man, it does crazy amounts. I've already seen 1 million damage from mine, which is crazy here. Broken War, I can understand that as well, because Broken War is also a free weapon. I'm expecting a lot of the weapons that are free or very easy to get to be higher up on the list here, so those first 3 make sense. Skijati, that one makes sense. Nikana Prime. Nikana Prime, I just got it. This is a powerful weapon. And it is on the resurgences for right now, as of the recording of this video. So if you can get your hands on it, do it. Because it's great. And it costs a lot of platinum to get your hands on. So definitely, get your hands on that. Praetos, another really good one. Wandos, a lot of these up here are ones that I've played or touched at least once and put a little bit of work into. A lot of these I have, so they all make sense. Vasilok, yeah, I've heard that one's really good. The Heat Sword, that one you can get from Nightwave, so that's a decent one. Redeemer. Let's see. Let's scroll to some ones that are confused. War, seeing it as low as it is, makes sense because nobody has it. Nobody has it, so nobody plays with it. But when you do have it, you do use it. Chorofel is a little bit higher than I expected it to be. I've seen that people, think it's decent. Oh, there's a plane. It's decent, but, it's not powerful, some people say. So, I like it, though. It's gotten me past the Master Rank test, so it always has a special place in my heart. Let's see. Ceramic Dagger. I feel like Ceramic Dagger should be higher because of its Incarnate. Because you can turn it into a really decent stat stick, and I don't have its Incarnate yet, but I want it, and that's a pretty good one. Let's see, let's start scrolling down to some that I might be surprised by. Dorkleave, that's a newer Warframe one, so I'm not that surprised that it's that. Eden, I am very surprised that it's that. Well, okay, in Duveri, I would be some more surprised, but in general play, there's better spears, I want to say, so I'm not surprised it's that low, but I would say that it's probably higher in Duveri. They should come out with a list of people who played what in Duveri, because that would be an interesting set of statistics to look at. But yeah, Eden is fantastic in Duveri. Let's see, Tatsu. I'm betting Tatsu Prime is higher, but that makes sense. Excuse me. Let's see. And there's so many of these here. What's down at the bottom? Dark Split Sword, Heavy Blade. Oh, are there differences between the Dark Split Sword? I guess. I don't even have that one, so I couldn't tell you yay or nay. I do know that Dark Dagger is lower. I mean, there's a lot of these weapons that, some people probably just don't even care about or have. Some of them that are higher, it makes sense because they probably heard that is really good. Sheev. I know that Sheev is, a hard thing to come by. I think you can get it from Borrow, or, you can do invasions for it, so that makes sense. Some of these, I think, are invasion only as well, so that totally makes sense here. Yeah, yep, you know what? Oh, a Meseta Prime? You know what? Seeing it as high as it is because it's the last Prime of the year, that is not surprising. That is not surprising. It was the last Prime of the year. And it's a decent weapon, but there's probably better variants that people built up, or maybe people just haven't found the fun stuff with it. I don't know, but that is all of these. Not surprising on a lot of these. When it comes to the Warframes, that is the one I am most surprised on because of Revenant. But hey, if you like Revenant, that's totally fine. I was expecting Wisp Prime. Well, I was expecting Wisp and Wisp Prime to be higher, but you know, it's whatever. I imagine that if they combined Wisp and Wisp, if they combined the primes together, it would probably be a different list. But that is neither here nor there. So, really quickly, let's go ahead and look at my mastery and all of my stuff. Like I said, I've been playing for a year. I am rank 30 now, almost rank 31 basically. And I have collected quite a bit of the list here in my 1 year of play. It's just over a year now. I'd like to say it's 14 months almost. So in 14 months of playing, we're going to look at what is my most used list. And we can look at just some of the general stuff that I feel like I'm gonna pull up the list here. I'm gonna pull it up in another tab, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at what is the most used, and then let's compare to myself, because I feel like that'll be interesting to see just how much I align with most of the general player base. Excuse me. So let's just go across the top here. This is my most used loadout. Period. And this makes sense because a lot of these are what I use for a majority of the time. This is before I started making different weapons and different builds for things. And I just used a couple different weapons. So seeing Hildren at 25%, that makes sense because Hildren, when I got her, was my baby for the longest time. And I want to say that she was the prime for the longest time as well, because Wisp Prime didn't come out till way later in the year. So until Wisp Prime came out, Hildren was all I was playing. Basically, and before Hildren it was Octavia Prime, and before her it was a mixture of different the Warframes, but like seeing Hildren at 25% makes sense. And it's gonna be a while before I get a Warframe that surpasses that, because my plan is to change up every Warframe with every Prime release, and then maybe, you know, somewhere in between. But yeah, that makes sense. Seeing Fenmore at 13%, it was a different gun for a little while. Oh, which one was it? Here, I'm gonna switch to this. Which one was it? It was Quellar, I think? Where's Quellar? Quellar, right here. It was 13% for the longest time, and that was because Quellar, it had a slow go up, but it had a lot of ammo, and I had a Riven for it. I think I still have a Riven for it that allowed me to shoot it very fast. So Quellar was the gun for a while, and then I changed to Fenmore once I got Fenmore, and Fenmore to this day still sees use. It just depends on what I am doing. I kind of bounce between Fenmore and Latum. Again, like, you know, it makes sense why I use both of them. Latum and Fenmore are basically the same firearm, except one is a little bit different. This one has more spread than this one, but you know, it makes sense. Seeing this one at 13 and 20, this one at 22%. Makes more sense. It's kind of funny, you know, to see how much of it I have used over other things. There's other firearms that kind of fit into that, but we'll get into them in a moment. Seeing Hespar as my most used melee is kind of interesting because I stopped using it way early on. It must just be the one that has the most kills, but I don't know. That's quite interesting. Seeing the Panzerville Pafla now, unfortunately, I'm sad to admit this, my Panzer was accidentally given away. I accidentally told the Lotus to take her away, and I don't have her anymore, so eventually I need to get a new one. However, because Panzers were the only self-reviving animals, that is why it's at 25%. Now that anything can revive, anything goes. I will be making pets for different Warframes and different builds, basically additional stat sticks, if you will. As for the Archwing, this kind of makes sense because I think it's Amisha, and what was the other one? There is another one that is useful. It's this one right here. It's Amisha and Itzal, I believe. Yeah, those are my two most used. Well, actually, no. Itzal is gonna grow more, but Amisha is the one I use the most right now. Mostly just because, yeah, that's the one I use right now. And I think I have that one built the most. I do have all the Arc Wings, though, so that's pretty cool. Larkspur is my most used heavy. That makes a lot of sense. Larkspur is going to maintain that forever. I have a feeling, because out of all of the heavy weapons on this list, and regular Larkspur being among them, out of all of these, Larkspur Prime is the best weapon to do regular mobbing with. Whenever I am doing extermination, whenever I'm running through a level and I need to be fast, Larkspur is what I bring in. And the reason why is because it has auto-targeting, it kills anything in sight, and it zaps things to death. And it is I'm very confident in saying that it is a steel path viable for a couple of different things. So it's just amazing. Like, if I don't want to do much work, this is my go-to weapon to use. So yeah, seeing it at 83%, yeah, it's gonna stay there. It's gonna stay there, just forever. Seeing this as my melee makes sense, because I don't have very many of the melees, and I never use many of the melees. The only reason why some of them have been maxed out is because I was doing farming for my rank, and when I want to max out the rest of them, I will continue to do that, but these unfortunately won't get much use, period. And as you can see, it has only 33 kills. As for the prism, the Raplac prism is the prism that I use for my shoot, what is it called? This is the prism that I use for all of my drifter usage, because that is I believe that the build I have for it is for Eidolon hunting. Obviously I don't do Eidolon hunting much now, and so I need to make another one just specifically for angels and other stuff, but seeing this one as high as it is makes a lot of sense. Obviously I had the amp for a while and the Sirocco, and I use the Sirocco a lot because I didn't have much else, but seeing the Raplac as high as it is makes sense. It makes sense. It really makes sense. Okay, we're coming up really late on the video, but really quickly, I wanted to go down the list of some of the Warframes that I am surprised by seeing as high as they are, and seeing just how high they are on my list of play. So the first one, let's look at Revenant. We're going to look at only a few of these here. Let's look at Revenant really quickly here. Revenant, usage 0.1%. Killed 3 only things. I only used him to level him. That's it. He wasn't my playstyle. Wukong, 0.1%. Oh, we got a couple more kills. Wait, how many kills? Let's see. Revenant was 3. He got a couple more kills than Revenant. He was a little bit more interesting, I guess, but still way too easy. Way too easy, in my opinion. Obviously, Wisp is 19% because of how much fun she is. She's done a lot, and I really enjoy her for that. Although I feel like it's going to be hard to beat out Hildryn Prime, especially with how many kills she has. Look at that. That's just insane. Let's see. Let's look at another one that is high on the list. Volt Prime. We'll make this the last one to look at. 0.3%. He has gotten a couple more kills. And I do need to use him a little bit more. But I'm honestly, when it comes to speedy frames, I'm really addicted to the current guy. To the current Prime on the list, Gauss. Let me see if I can find him here. Gauss Prime. He's been, now regular Gauss, 0.3%. He's gotten a couple more kills than a lot of other Warframes. But Gauss Prime, oh, he's climbing up there. 2.5%. He'll be climbing until the next Prime comes out. So, you know, Gauss is high up there. I feel kind of bad because Grendel came out before him, and Grendel's fine. He's just not my favorite. I'm sorry. He's just not my favorite, but he's cool. He's pretty cool. But anyway, I feel like that's pretty much it. I could look at weapons, but we are going pretty deep into the level. If you want some more in-depth looks on what I play and what I basically do, go ahead and leave that in the comments. All that crazy stuff. But I think this is where we're going to end it off for today. Thank you as always for watching, getting through most of the video. I appreciate it. If you could leave a comment saying what you think of all of this, I do feel like I would appreciate it. Other than that, like, subscribe to the video, turn on notifications, and I will see you when I see you. Bye!